Is anything off limits as material for stand-up comedy? There's a reason you don't see okay, maybe I have to reel back what I'm saying. Because like Chappelle makes trans jokes and he gets called out for it. And like, you're you're punching down and all this whatever.
You know, you're on the top of of a mountain. You could go down the green circle hill, you could go down the blue square hill, or you can go down the double black diamond.
I don't know what the fuck just happened there.
When you go snowboarding or skiing.
This don't ski?
I do.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we'll go to another regular segment we do here every week. It's called Poll Results. Every Monday on my Instagram story feed, I post an interactive poll question. We also post it on the community tab on YouTube. We leave it up for a week for you guys to vote and leave your comments and discuss the results here every Wednesday. This week's poll question is anything off limits as material for stand-up comedy? The options were nothing, yes, for sure, only tragedies, and I'm not sure. And before we get to the results, how did you vote on this, Dante?
Knifing.
Hell no. Yeah, obviously I agree with that. I don't think anything is off limits.
Nothing's off limits in life.
Including tragedies. But what I will say, there is a caveat, and my caveat is not that there are things that are off limits. I think skill level dictates what you're able to get away with. If you're a bum comedian and you go up there trying to tell some R-word jokes or let's just say like a really terrible tragedy happens in the news and then you go up there and you tell a really distasteful garbage joke that doesn't help anybody release any tension or laugh and make light of a situation in a positive way. Because there's a finesse to comedy. Yep. You know, and if you're not a comedian, you don't know that finesse and you're just going to go up there and say whatever. Or you might be a shock comedian or whatever. I still fight for the attempt to say whatever. Like Patrice, shout out to R.I.P. Patrice, went on Fox News and made that fucking whole argument. It's not the content that we're fighting for. It's the attempt to be able to say anything and try and make it funny. Yeah. Can't go against that at all. Helicopter just decides to fly over the studio right now, but that's fine. But yeah, I don't look at it as only tragedies or not. Like, bro, I think for me specifically, the best stuff to get across on stage, especially if you're going to touch on taboo subjects, is stuff that you relate to personally. Yeah. If you have a direct connection to the thing, then by all means, I think you'll get something great out of it. If you don't, you have a little more tightrope walking to do. You know what I mean? But still, by all means, if you're a good enough joke writer, anything can be funny. Yeah. Anything can be funny. And unfortunately, yes, even some of the tragedies that have affected you, maybe not you, maybe all of us, maybe some of us, like that's, especially in the context of a comedy club, if it's not an ambush comedy show where you're in a coffee, like a fucking cafe or whatever, and then you didn't know, you just went in to get your espresso and have your daily writing session on your MacBook, and then all of a sudden some guy goes up there and is like, and I R-worded 3 women on the way in here. He's like,
I didn't even have a knife.
Yeah, you have anything you want to add to that?
Well, the reason I say nothing is because anything can happen in real life. Yeah. Right? And therefore, someone's perspective is they look at it in a funny way. Right? Like me personally, I see something and I always look at it in a funny way. If it happens to me, bad shit happens to me all the time. Like I've almost died more times than I could count. Yeah, of course. I make jokes about it all the time.
Of course. Because you see that there is humor in tragedy also.
Yeah.
Like that's literally the opposite side of tragedy is
if you can make fun of something bad that happened to you and you can make light of it, it helps you through that particular situation.
But here's the thing that you do have to understand is that not everybody's like that. And I'm not saying you specifically, just in general, especially as a comedian. Yeah. If you like, a lot of comedians are inept. They actually don't.
What does that mean?
Inept means that they're devoid of any understanding of social constructs or how to behave. Okay. Or they're actually not understanding of the fact that what they're saying is completely like
Yeah.
not even that it's not it's not funny. It's just
It's like, what are you doing?
Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Even comedians will stop. Like, comedians usually won't get on a microphone and be like, "No, you shouldn't be doing that."
Yeah.
But comedians
Afterwards.
know. Good comedians, especially. There's a reason you don't see like. Okay, maybe I have to reel back what I'm saying. Because like Chappelle makes trans jokes and he gets called out for it, and like, you're freaking you're punching down and all this bullshit, whatever. But if you're actually really assessing those jokes, there's real points behind them. There's real sentiment behind them. There's obviously thought behind them. It's not like but there's comedians that have no understanding or concept of that.
Yep. I've seen them before.
Of course we have. Of course. But yeah, once again, this week's poll question is anything off limits as material for stand-up? The options were nothing, yes for sure, only tragedies, and I'm not sure. And the Instagram results are 81% said nothing, 8% said yes for sure, 3% said only tragedies, and 8% said I'm not sure. I did get a few DMs.
I was gonna ask if you got any DMs on this one.
I did. Let me see if I can pull one up quick without it seeming. You want to pull up the YouTube results while I'm doing this?
Sure.
And there's many things that many people should never make jokes about. I'm a stay in your lane type person.
Sorry, I looked away. Say that again.
Someone messaged me. There's many things that many people should never make jokes about. I'm a stay in your lane type person, which what I brought up earlier is.
But they're
if
saying
you have a direct lineage to something horrific that you want to make light of, that makes sense. But also, I'm also open to people who have no connection to that thing.
Yeah.
Attempting to make a joke about it.
But that DM specifically says there are many things you shouldn't joke about.
No. There's many things that many people should never make jokes about. Which
yes. So that's limiting.
Of course.
Yeah.
Regardless of how, yeah, of course. But I'm taking this that this person is meaning. It's like unless you've directly dealt with a certain thing, like let's say a specific horror tragedy or whatever, you know what I mean? Then you shouldn't be talking about it. Is how I took that.
Okay.
But I'm against that. Bro, in the context of a comedy club, and that's the response I came out with.
Yeah.
I'm like, in the context of a comedy club, you guys bought a ticket to a comedy show. As long as it's not an ambush.
Yeah.
And also like, bro, there's a lot of, man. The shitty comedians and the weirdos and the creeps that aren't actually comedians at heart, that go in just to be, make shock type shit just for the sake of, without actually having a joke behind it. Like, it ruins it for everybody else.
Yeah, it doesn't help. It doesn't help, like, you know, because they're just saying it for, like you said, the shock of it. It's not for the funny of it.
But here's an example. When David Lucas got in trouble, we talked about that.
Yeah.
When David Lucas had that George Floyd joke that got him in a lot of trouble. And then he ended up going on an apology tour about it.
Yes.
But like, he shouldn't have apologized.
No.
In the context of a comedy club, he took a risk.
Yeah.
But at the same time, now this is where I'm like, especially in today's climate, that old guard excuse of everything is fair game in comedy. Look, bro, I had to deal with this fucking realization in terms of social media. I hate social media. I wish it wasn't a thing, but it is a thing. We have progressed to such a point where I'm not going to say don't attempt to make the joke, but you have to know the risks at this stage in the game.
Yeah.
If you're going to say a certain type of thing and you're not sure if it's going to land or not, because if it lands, you're a hero. But if it doesn't land, you're David Lucas apologizing about it.
Yeah, or think of it like this. You know, you're on the top of a mountain. You could go down the green circle hill, you could go down the blue square hill, or you can go down the double black diamond.
I don't know what the fuck just happened there.
You when you go snowboarding or skiing.
Okay.
Right? So like the green circle.
Niggas don't ski?
I do.
All right.
It's you can go down the double black diamond. Doesn't mean you're gonna make it down alive. You can attempt it. Like it's
a really just fucking made a ski reference as if like ain't anybody in the audience is gonna get that shit.
Hey, we have a lot of Canadians that watch us.
No, we have mostly Americans. Thank God. No, I'm
trying.
Oh, Canada.
Well, all I'm saying,
our nice and racist land. Our prime minister does blackface. He was trying to be a brown man, but it was a dark shade, way darker than he meant. And now he claims to be for the gays, but what about all that racist shit he did? Anyways, fuck this place. Yeah, what were you saying?
You have the right to ski down that hill, whether you're good enough to make it down without breaking your legs or not.
Correct. So you got to know if you're good enough.
You got to know if you're good enough.
And that's where self-honesty comes in.
Yes.
And like checking yourself. Let's check the...
Don't go ego skiing.
Ego skiing. Let's check the YouTube results here. Once again, is anything off limits as material for stand-up comedy? The YouTube results, 20 votes. Salute, shout-outs, respect, love. Thank you to all the people that voted. You are continually getting more active on the poll questions here on the YouTube community tab, and I appreciate that so much. Once again, thank you to all the beautiful people that continue to subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment, share any of the videos, and continue to engage with us and help us fight Mr. Algorithm. Love and respect to y'all. You too can be beautiful people. All you have to do is hit that subscribe button. The results. 65% of the people on YouTube said nothing. 15% said yes, for sure. 10% said only tragedies, and 10% said I'm not sure. We got some comments on YouTube. Let's see here. It's not the subject, it's the context. Nigga. It's not the subject, it's the context and the intent or tone. I agree with that. Anything is fair game, but how you deliver it and what your intent behind it, you got to be aware enough to understand you're telling it to a live audience.
Yeah.
So prepare for anything, especially in this day and age. Shout outs to Pothead Chimp. Love and respect. Homie from Austin, Texas. All about skill, baby. Yep. That's pretty much the same thing. That's what we've been saying.
You can ski down the mountain if you're good enough. If you're not.
But you might break a leg.
You might fuck up both your wrists.
This is Black Zeus, the podcast season 5.
I love y'all. Thank you for supporting. Once again, the Patreon is launched. If you do want to watch my comedy special right now, you can do so. It's only $10 and you can get it as part of the subscription fee. So like if you subscribe to the Patreon, you can get it that way, or you can just buy it outright for $10 that way. Once again, for transparency, I will release the comedy special for free on the YouTube once we hit 1,000 subscribers. So you can also just hit the subscriber button and just do that. You can support that way, whichever way you want to support. I'm on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, all that. I don't necessarily use it the way everybody else does, but I'm there if you want to find me. AKA Black Zeus is the person to find on those platforms.